It's great to see you all here this morning here in London, one of my favorite cities to travel to. The jet lag is mostly gone now, and so with the caffeine that I've got in my veins, I wanted to walk you through a little bit of our perspective on data intelligence, building off of what Satyan highlighted, giving you a sense of where we're going to be making our investments in the platform over the next 18 to 24 months. What I thought, get past the legal mumbo jumbo here. So now that the attorneys are satisfied, let's talk about what we're actually up to here. So Satyan made the case for decentralization being a kind of a macro trend that's cutting across architectures like data mesh, the modern data stack, data fabric, and data ops, and made the case for why you need a data intelligence software platform to provide governance, search, discovery, trustability, collaboration. I wanted to touch a bit on some of the business value that you can obtain from data intelligence. And that includes productivity for your data X employees, so data analysts, data scientists, data engineers. Active data governance. How do you drive data governance and make it truly participative throughout your organization? Driving digital transformation. We hear that from so many of our customers, especially in traditional industries, that recognize they need to become digital in order to compete successfully. And last but certainly not least, something that really cuts across your entire organization, how do you build a data culture? How do you drive curiosity? How do you drive rational thinking and rational behavior and decision making? And so we really feel that that business value is absolutely essential. And again, to build on top of what Satyan highlighted, there are really two things that we believe firmly need to happen. It does need to connect to everything, as Satyan highlighted, and in order for this solution to actually be successful and to help you achieve your business objectives, you really need to touch everybody in your organization and really drive engagement and adoption. Shelfware is not what we're interested in. We know that's not what you're interested in, and that's why you're here, is to take full advantage of the capabilities of Alation and the partner systems that we integrate with. So what I wanted to do is actually double click a little bit more into what do we actually mean by connecting to everything and engaging and getting adoption from everyone in the organization. And so over the next 15, 20 minutes or so, I'm going to spend a little bit of time going into a little bit more detail on what we're actually up to on the product and engineering side of things as it relates to connectivity, platform capabilities, building out ecosystems. Same thing on the engagement and adoption side. I'm a UX guy at heart, and so some of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you, things that we're investing in over the next, like I said, year and a half, 2 years, some of which will actually show up very shortly, are things that I'm hoping you'll be very excited about. I know I'm excited about, and our team that's building these capabilities is excited about. So with that, let me jump through and let's dive into connecting to everything. So I'll start with a slide that Satyan used as well. Maybe go a little bit deeper. A data intelligence platform that doesn't actually ingest metadata from all of your sources, not terribly useful. And so whether it's cloud tools, we've got our friends here from Snowflake, Eva's going to be on stage right after me talking about what they're up to. But whether it's on-prem data sources that you've got, and it could be multiple clouds, Amazon, Azure, Google, your own private data centers, et cetera. ETL and ELT tools, BI tools, NoSQL databases. You name it, we need to be able to connect to it. And so many of you who are current customers, some of you that are prospective customers, have heard about the Open Connector framework. That's been an area of investment for us over the last, I'm going to say about 18 months. And it's been a really concerted effort to containerize and decouple connectivity from the correlation platform and do it in a way that allows us, partners, and even customers to build first-class deep connectors that do things like profiling, that scale to hundreds of thousands to millions of tables, tens of millions of rows, and be able to ingest that metadata into the platform so that you can drive discovery, governance, and trustability. And we need to keep up with the innovations that our partners are focusing on, whether it's data governance primitives coming from Snowflake, whether it's integrating with Unity Catalog from Databricks. So it's incumbent upon us to stay up to date with legacy as well as modern technologies, cloud-based databases and warehouses to ensure that your investment in Alation is future-proof, and give you the opportunity, to the extent that you want to or need to build connectors on your own to connect to those specific databases that might mean something specific to your organization. So that's a constant area of focus for us. It's foundational technology, and it really is the underpinning for everything that we focus on. This is the other slide that Satyan touched on. The rest of this is new content. He talked about building out partner ecosystems and augmenting the catalog with best-of-breed metadata that exists in tools that you might use all over the place. This is a screenshot of the integration with our data quality and data observability vendors. Soda, who's here today, and they're actually right outside. I know they're providing demos and insights into this, but this is something that we got really excited about, is how do we open up the Alation catalog and our platform for best-of-breed metadata and build a rich ecosystem so that all of the insights that you want can show up in a single pane of glass. And it's not just bringing in key value pairs or what have you. Here's an example of an integration where you're actually seeing data quality rules, signals. What are the specific objects that are being flagged? What's the status? What's the value? And if you want to click through to get more details, to get into Soda or another one of our partners, you can certainly do so. And so our area of focus is, how do we open up the catalog and ensure that the partners that matter to you, with the rich metadata that can augment the insights that we're automatically deriving, extracting, and inferring, can find their way into the catalog to really make Alation that starting point, that single source of reference for all of your users, so that they really get the complete picture of what they're seeing for their data sets. Provenance of data, quality, how is it classified, where is it going, what are the downstream implications, what are the upstream sources. And so we started with data quality. You're going to see additional initiatives next year focusing on access rights, deeper integrations with classification vendors, stuff that's really going to make the Alation catalog the home for the best metadata possible to give your users the insights that they need to be successful and complete the tasks that they need to complete. But connecting to and building a data intelligence system, it's not just about data source connectivity and ingesting metadata. We really see Alation being an essential platform for data ops and really opening up Alation to be a platform for developers to build data ops-enabled applications. One of the things that we invested in over the past year is building Kafka and an event bus into the underlying platform. We're currently the primary producer and consumer of events within the Alation platform, but next year you're going to see us opening up the Alation platform for third-party development. So as metadata changes that we discover in the catalog, either from data that we ingest or data that's coming from third parties. So it could be schema drift, might be a quality signal, pipeline outage, latency issues, what have you. How can we identify those events and then publish those events via webhooks that you can subscribe to orchestrate your own policies and processes, whether it's notifying a human being via Slack or Microsoft Teams, or generating a Jira ticket or a ServiceNow ticket, or whether it's triggering a self-healing process, another downstream application that can actually leverage these events and trigger a new workflow that drives automation to reboot a pipeline or restart something. And so I'm personally really excited to see what sorts of innovation not only our developers can come up with, but your application developers and data engineers can focus on building really powerful data products that are real-time and leverage the insights and integrations that you'll have available to yourselves as part of the Alation platform itself. So, connecting to everything, we know your enterprise data estate is absolutely critical, and that's really where we're focusing. We've been experimenting on integrating with third-party data marketplaces to have Alation be that starting point for searching not only your enterprise data, but data that exists in marketplaces like Snowflake's data marketplace and AWS's data marketplace. We actually have this feature enabled in the platform today. I think it's a flag that you can turn on and turn off. But the idea is, if that search box is the point of inspiration for data discovery, why restrict data discovery only to your enterprise data assets? What if there's a powerful third-party data set that's available that could actually help your analyst or your data scientist or your data engineer complete the tasks that they need to complete? How can we bring those search results in context at that point of inspiration to the users as they're looking for those insights? And so you can see a mock of what us ingesting these listings from these third-party data marketplaces can look like, where there's rich information, there's sampling, there's context that will help your analysts or users make decisions on whether that's the data set that's fit for purpose and is going to meet their needs. The other area of opportunity that I get excited about is we hear from a lot of customers, and they talk about building their own data marketplaces, whether it's internal marketplaces for your own employees or whether it's actually customer or partner-facing data marketplaces. So we're just scratching the surface on what marketplace integration within Alation can look like. This is effectively real right now, but we see opportunities to actually help you build marketplaces using Alation as the home and the starting point for these data products to be produced and perhaps even ultimately monetized. And so more to come on that front, but wanted to share with you how we think about connecting to everything and how broad that definition can actually be. And then last but not least on this area of focus, connecting to everything, there's a lot of data out there, right? I mean, you have a ton of data in public marketplaces. That means we need to build an architecture that scales to the largest global enterprises. And if I think about some of the customers that are here in the room today, these are, Global 100 organizations with massive data estates. So how do we build a platform that truly scales to meet your needs today and your needs going forward? And so we've made a massive transition from a monolithic architecture to our Alation Cloud service, leveraging Kubernetes, multi-tenancy, so that we can drive elastic scalability. We can provide federated domain models, so you can distribute permission management, ownership, curation, et cetera, and create catalogs of catalogs. And that's something that you'll see coming from us next year, where you can have a corporate catalog, but stand up discrete instances for specific business units or what have you. There's an opportunity for us to deliver a platform that meets all of your needs, whether you're a mid-market organization or a global 100 organization. So hopefully this gives you a sense of, when we talk about connecting to everything, what we actually mean. Where I wanted to go next is to talk about engagement and adoption. What does it look like? What are the experiences that we're going to be building? What are the capabilities that you'll be able to put in the hands of your users so that they can get the most value out of their data intelligence investments? And so it really starts with personal relevance. So what I'm showing you here are some mocks of the future of the Alation catalog experience. Homepage on the left and a table page on the right. And so we're actually actively developing and coming up with new design mocks for what the next gen Alation catalog is going to look like. Something that is much more modern, dare I say delightful and hopefully beautiful. Something that's dynamic, where information is being fed to you every time you go to that homepage. There's relevant context that's coming to you. Related data sets, recommended data sets, changes to projects that you're working on, but also on the catalog page itself. An experience that scales and can be tailored based on who you are and what sort of persona you are. Are you a data engineer? Are you a general business user? What you want to see on that catalog page is going to vary depending on who you are and what needs you've got. So giving you the tools to define custom roles, custom groups, have that homepage be personalized and tailored to different audiences, whether it's a domain-specific variant of your catalog or whether it's a group-specific variant or some combination of the two. These are some of the capabilities that we're working on. And you can expect to see the first phase of this new Alation experience showing up mid-next year. And we'll have some more functional prototypes and mocks that you can kick the tires on in the early part of next year. I know my team is super excited about it, and I am too. Like I said, I'm a UX geek at heart, and people like to use beautiful, elegant software. We've always prided ourselves on delivering great experiences to our users. This is an opportunity for us to almost 10x the usability of the platform, but still not take capabilities away, because we know the folks that are using Alation today, your data analysts, your data scientists, your data engineers, these are technical users. We want to make sure we're honoring their expectations, providing an experience that also scales to the less technical users in your organization so that you can actually create a data culture that's pervasive. So Lineage. Steve touched on Lineage as an important aspect of Alation. We've been investing a ton on, I'm going to call it, and Satyan's used the term, the plumbing of Lineage. A lot of investments in platform. How do we automatically extract technical lineage and stitch together cross-system details, column-level transformations across multiple data sources to build that foundational graph? Where I get really excited is, what do we do with that foundation? How do we add layers to this experience? How do we make lineage and data exploration a graphical experience? One in which it's almost that third starting point into the platform. You've got the search box. You can browse the catalog, by data source or by domain or what have you. How can we enable Lineage to be a first-class entry point into the catalog and have it scale at the right level of abstraction? So can I get a domain-based view? And I know it's hard to see on the monitors here, but you can see in this data exploration graph here, you've got sales, finance, and marketing. How do you organize this knowledge graph and be able to see what you want to see based on your interests? I want to see a domain-based view of this pipeline. I want to see a systems-based view of this pipeline. I want to see a policy-oriented view. Let me see which of these objects has the appropriate PII or GDPR policy associated with it. So we're going to be augmenting this graph with a rich set of logical metadata and semantics that layers on top of this physical structure. And so you can expect to see some of these new lineage experiences starting as soon as actually, I think next month, because that would be November. We're going to be adding system-level aggregation views in the technical lineage graph. And this data explorer concept is something that you can expect to see next year from us. So context and collaboration. Tim talked about context earlier. Steve talked about it as well. Context is both, how do we contextualize the data within Alation, but equally importantly, how do we drive engagement and adoption by bringing data intelligence into the tools that your users use on a daily basis? How do you bring alerts? How do you bring insights into glossary definitions? Lineage insights into Slack or Microsoft Teams or into your browsers, into tools like Tableau and Power BI. How do we drive notifications into platforms like ServiceNow and Jira? And I'll touch on Spreadsheets in just a few slides. This is our Alation Anywhere strategy, and something that's going to be coming to you actually starting in November, in fact. So integrations into Tableau, where metadata context from Alation will show up directly in the data details panel in your Tableau reports and dashboards, as well as our first integration with Slack, where you'll get notifications. You can basically install your Alation bot into your Slack platform and actually get definitions from Alation, and collaboration will be integrated as well. So comments and conversations taking place within Alation will show up in Slack. You can respond to them in Slack, and the system of record in Alation will get updated as well. Microsoft Teams is coming early part of next year. It's part of our overall strategy, but we're super excited about this, and I think honestly the sky's the limit here, because this is really all about bringing data intelligence to where people spend their time and energy. So I can't wait to see what the feedback's going to be, but I'm super excited about this, and you're going to see a lot of these other tools that are showing up on that graph on the left get integrations as part of our Alation Anywhere strategy in the early part of 2023. So Satyan touched on semantics in his talk. So at the end of the day, data intelligence requires business relevance. How do we connect your physical data environment to your business so that the concepts, the entities, the metrics that folks, especially business users in your organization, care about are not only present in the catalog, but actually surface at that point of inspiration. And so, I think we've done a great job On the data layer, with our query log processing, we're already starting to identify and have the capabilities to identify topics and entities and metrics. How do we surface that in ways that changes the search experience, that changes the data discovery experience, so that users can search for concepts and actually find those insights within Alation? So you're going to see some new capabilities coming from us, starting with Alation Analytics, where you can ask natural language questions of the objects that are analyzable in Alation Analytics. Page views, visits, domain insights, search terms that are satisfied and not satisfied. Where we see this going much more generally next year is how do we make it easier for you to actually build out and curate a semantic layer within Alation that leverages either existing semantic layers that you're using, whether it's LookML or perhaps it's at scale or some of the other tools that are out there, or curate a semantic layer within Alation itself. Create first-class objects. Here's what a metric is. Here's what an entity is. And then have your search experience actually modified so that when a business user is searching for customer revenue or geographical product data, they're actually going to get not just a table, but they might actually get a concept that they can use to explore the catalog. And so you can see this is a mock of a semantic search experience where somebody's searching for, in this case, what is it? Yeah, sales amount and marketing spend by industry and region. And how do we actually surface rich topics, things that actually have semantics that map to your business so that their experience is different from the one that another, if you're not a Corinthian bank, if you're in a CPG company, you're going to see a completely different set of topics. Revenue might mean something in a bank that's quite different than what it means at a CPG company. So how do we connect those dots in ways that really just make the discovery and exploration process as easy as possible? So some of the stuff that I'm excited about that's going to be coming kind of mid to late 2023 that I think is going to transform the Alation experience in a meaningful fashion. Data governance. So we got a ton of data governance practitioners here. We spent a good part of a day yesterday. Some of you were in that training session yesterday. I think the key point here is to drive engagement and adoption, you really need a system of trust within the platform. And so we've invested a ton in our data governance capabilities, workflow, automation capabilities. In fact, some enhancements to automation coming next year. New object types. We added policies to the platform just about a year ago. Metrics are going to be coming next year. We just added a new glossary term a little bit earlier this year. How do we orchestrate a system of governance that's truly federated, that's participative, and leverages the subject matter expertise that you've got across your organization, almost leveraging some of those data mesh concepts that we talked about earlier, so that at the end of the day, whether it's machine-generated curation, whether it's human-assisted curation, we want to maximize the likelihood that when somebody finds an object within Alation, they're actually going to really understand the context, how this data set can be used, where it came from, is it fit for purpose, and how can and should they be using it on a go-forward basis. And so we're going to continue to be investing heavily in governance so that that system of trust in Alation is something that your users can rely on and increase the likelihood that when they when they come to Alation, they're actually going to get something that they can take advantage of and take action on as quickly as possible. Two more slides, and then I'll, or two more preview slides, and then I'll kind of wrap up in just a moment. So we were the first catalog that really connected the dots between data exploration with our SQL tool, Alation Compose, and the catalog, identifying through our query log ingestion and behavioral analytics, suggestions on SQL definitions, common joins, and filters. And so where we see an opportunity for us to go beyond that is to really bring multilingual data exploration to a much broader set of users. So the image on the left here, I know it's a little bit hard to see with the monitor, is a notebook-like version of Alation Compose. Multi-step, easier to comprehend, publishable, SQL steps that can then be discovered, governed, and shared more easily. Where we see opportunities to expand the audience for these tools is twofold. One, how do we bring natural language into the equation? So how do we enable a business user, a operations person, an actuary, somebody who maybe isn't a SQL expert, to ask questions of their data and actually have SQL translation take place and get those insights back. We acquired a company about a year ago. Some of you may have seen the announcement, a company called Lingo Analytics, and they've got a specific expertise in natural language processing and converting the NLP into SQL. We see a huge opportunity for us to bring that technology into our data exploration capabilities so that people can ask questions of the data, even if they're not SQL experts. You're going to see that come in a generalized fashion into the Alation experience next year. And we see an opportunity to add Python capabilities as well to our data exploration. So whether you're a data scientist, whether you're a SQL analyst, data engineer, or a business user, we're going to give you tools and give your users tools to explore the data that they need in order to complete their tasks and do their job effectively. And then last, but certainly not least, and Satyan kind of alluded to this in his talk, despite all the investments in big data and BI and modern data stack tools, et cetera, I think we all know that spreadsheets tend to be the place where a ton of analysis actually gets done. We've heard spreadsheets referred to as the dark matter of data in an organization. And it's true, right? But it's powerful, it's understandable, mere mortals can take advantage of it, but it's disconnected, right? That, I'm sure, everybody, dies a tiny little bit when another CSV download out of your warehouse or data mart takes place, and then you're like, oh God, I have no idea what they're going to do with that data. It's not reproducible. I don't know where it's going. How can I trust it? So we see an opportunity as part of our data intelligence vision to bring spreadsheets into the era of governed, managed, modern data assets. And so what you're going to see from us, first phase is going to be launching actually late next month, is a new product called Alation Connected Sheets. It'll work with Google Sheets. It'll also work with Excel Online. We're starting with Google Sheets, but the Excel capability is going to be a fast follow. And this is going to be an add-in into those two products. And the idea, step one, is going to be how do we bring the catalog and publish queries and browsable data set or data sources into the spreadsheet tool itself. So instead of having a spreadsheet with a CSV download from, pick your favorite warehouse or database, how can you actually browse trusted, governed data sources that have been cataloged by Alation, queries that have been published within Alation, and enable a user to define, oh, I want this column to be coming from this particular table in this warehouse or in this data source. Assemble a sheet. You can schedule a refresh rate. You'll always have connectivity to the underlying data sources. We're not going to have the lineage graph that you're seeing on the left-hand side right out of the gate, but that'll be coming next year. And the idea would be now you can have spreadsheets that are actually governed connected data assets with traceability, with trust flags, with custom metadata that can be managed so that you know where these spreadsheets are going. You know upstream lineage and what the provenance of that data is. These can be shared. They're inherently collaborative. We're leveraging the capabilities that come from both Office 365 as well as the Google Suite itself. But now you've got governed data assets, and that this dark matter can slowly stop becoming dark matter and actually become a bit more transparent and something that can empower an entirely new audience of users to benefit from the investments that you're making in data intelligence and the data catalog itself. So more to come on this front, but it's something that I'm super excited about. And the conversations that I've had with customers and prospects, the excitement's been palpable. If we can even make a small dent in this, we think it can be transformative for users and bring the value of data intelligence to 10x to 100x the number of employees that are currently benefiting from the catalog. So hopefully that gave you a good sense of how we think about what it really means to connect to everything, as well as drive engagement and adoption by everyone. We're really focused on expanding the audience and bringing data intelligence to all of your knowledge workers within your organization. So last two slides here. It's our firm belief that to satisfy the needs of multiple personas, and multiple use cases. So whether it's search and discovery, governance, analytics, operations, you really need a platform that is scalable, robust, truly connects to everything, and services the needs of multiple use cases and multiple personas. And so where are we going to be focusing? Again, it's a architecture diagram, so take it for what it is. But what you'll see us really investing in over the next 18 to 24 months is the stuff in the middle. We want to be the best provider in the data intelligence market as it relates to platform robustness and a rich set of first-party applications that we build in these 4 areas: search and discovery, governance, analytics, operations. And I've kind of alluded to all of those, hopefully through the screenshots that I've shared. But equally importantly, we believe a robust partner ecosystem is absolutely essential for us to deliver on our mission as well. So whether it's tools on the left, or whether it's your traditional enterprise applications and services on the right, ITSM tools, email platforms, messaging platforms, logging tools, and then on the left, master data management, PII and sensitive data discovery, data observability, partnership. We're a principal in Lineage, but we know there's a lot of rich Lineage providers out there as well. We want to be open to that. So that's our commitment to you, is we're going to be great about the stuff in the middle, and we're going to really invest in partners and partnerships so that we have great integrations with metadata coming into Alation and flowing out of Alation to enable you to achieve your objectives of delivering data intelligence to your entire organization. So hopefully that gives you a sense of what we're up to over the next couple years. I'll be around all day, happy to answer any questions, but thank you guys so much, and hopefully enjoy the rest of your day.